Flora Villabreo and Ben Lagusa. That's the Kali Association of America. So I'd like to dedicate this particular videotape to them. Also to Master Johnny Lacosta. These are just some of the weapons they use in the Filipino martial arts. You notice that the stick is sometimes made out of bahi, or it can be made out of rattan. They can use it with 2 sticks, or they can use a long and a short stick. The stick is sometimes in many systems used as a method to teach you how to use different blades or different weapons in the Philippines. Okay, for an example, if you learn the stick, over here I'll place this down, some Filipinos prefer to use a flat stick, something like this. You notice over here in this section, these are various different widths and lengths of different sticks, depending on the practitioner. Some people like a very long stick, and while others like a very short stick. Again, you can see all the various different types. Sometimes they're highly decorated. If you learn the stick, it is nothing to switch over. So in other words, if you learn striking, such as this, to change over to any weapon, you are learning the mechanics of still what we refer to as angle 1 and angle 2. This weapon would still be angle 1, angle 2. Okay. Other weapons used, you notice that this one is a little bit fatter. This is used by many styles in the central and in the northern part, Tagalog region. And this is the flat stick, and it's a little bit fatter than a stick which is normally very thin and longer like this. The swords, the Philippines have been influenced by many different countries. You notice that this one here has a lot of Spanish influence in it, and we use this as one of the training blades that's used. Another form of this in the southern Philippines is called the kampilan. You notice that this kampilan is longer than most of the normal blades. Okay? However, in some parts of the Philippines, they prefer the stick, not the stick, but the sword or the kampilan to be very short as compared to this kampilan over here. Notice the difference in width and in length and in thickness. As this is also a kampilan, again, you notice that each member or each tribe had a particular likeness or preference in the shape of the blade. Again, this is another type of kampilan. So you notice here we had 4 different shapes and 4 different lengths of kampilans, depending on the practitioner. Okay. This, of course, again, is a kampilan. And you notice the difference between this kampilan and this kampilan. Almost the same, but a little bit different. So because the art is highly individualized for every practitioner. This is called the pinuti, right? Used in the Visayan region. It's a little bit longer, about the same length almost as the kampilan, just a little bit shorter in length. This is called the laring, commonly used in the southern region of the Philippines. This is a kalas, another form of kalas. There's not a particular shape because every individual in every tribe picked his own different shape that he wanted. Okay? This is commonly called the jabang, or what they call siko-siko. Okay? And usually it is used as a projectile type of weapon, or it can be used as a support weapon for any particular blade. Okay? This is sometimes what we refer to as the tabak tuyak or the ilisi tuyak. You notice that one has longer, a little bit shorter in length, others are the same. Okay? Commonly called the nunchucks in Okinawa. Okay? Again, this type over here is another type of jabang, or what we refer to as siko-siko. This came from Indonesia, probably from Sumatra, from the Sri Visaya Empire. Okay? We move on to here. A very common one is the balasang. Okay? Or the Batangas. This is usually used in conjunction in the Batangas region. It's this held in this hand here. This hand is used for thrusting and slicing and can be used in many different ways. Okay? We move on over here. We'll notice that there are various different types of daggers. Now, the training dagger can be made out of wood. The dagger will vary from length, shape. Over here we have the different types that they might use in the southern Philippines. Okay, this is a different type of dagger. This is straight edge. This is a kris, right? This is a puñal. Again, same type, various different assortments of different types of kris that might be used. This, of course, is a kris. Okay? The kalas, which is like the kris, you notice that it's wavy, but it's straight at the edge. Okay? This is the borong. Okay? This is used in the southern Philippines. This is used in the central Philippines. It's a pinuti, right? And sometimes supported in the other hand with a dagger. Okay. This is, of course, is a kris made in the Visayan region. It's a little bit different from the ones made in the southern region. Again, these are from the southern part of the Philippines. Okay, over here we have what they call the straight kris. We move over here. This has Spanish influence. We refer to this as the espada. When we use this in conjunction, this weapon here, we call this espada daga. A lot of it might be Spanish influence. No one can trace it that far back, but we had our own sword and dagger method. Okay. We also had another type of weapon, type of dagger. You can see all the different shapes. Every tribe is going to use a particular shape of weapon that they prefer to use. You notice that this one's flat on this side and it's rounded on this side. But these are the various different weapons that would be employed in the Filipino martial arts. Again, this is the kris. The kris in ancient times were said to, when the Americans came into the Philippines, that one slash used to cut off the Springfield rifle with one hack. They're very good. Okay, but this in short is the Filipino martial arts. Then we have various types of shield. We have the round shield. In the southern region, this is usually supported with the shield. And the sword will be held in one hand, or the spear might be. In the city area, the sticks were made in the cane. So this is actually what you're learning is a cane art. In short, this is the Filipino martial arts and different weaponry. The Filipino martial arts, they always start with the weapon first and then move down into the empty hand skills. There are many different approaches and methods of progression in the Filipino martial art. Some people start off with the footwork first. Others start with the stroking first. Others start with the grip. The approaches are many. Every style progressing in the manner that they wish. I'm going to start off first with the grip. The grip, which I like, is 1 fist length. Sometimes some people say it should be 2. Others say it should be 1 finger. Others say there shouldn't be any. Others say you should have something because you can use the puño portion or the end portion of the stick. Okay. What I'm going to start off first is just with the stroking so you can recognize angles. Okay. Rather than teach you a numbering system, because every style in the Filipino martial art has a different numbering system, I'm just going to teach you basic angles. You have basically a diagonal blow on the forehand side and a diagonal blow on the backhand side. It forms what we refer to as a downward figure 8. Regardless of the weapon you use, you have a downward figure 8. Okay? You then have an upward figure 8. Notice it's going diagonal. This is the upward figure 8. Okay? You then have the horizontal blows that travel horizontal. Okay? You have the blows that travel horizontal high. You can travel the horizontal blow low if you wish. Okay? You have a vertical blow that strikes this way, one that comes completely through, others that whip through, others that snap. Okay? So basically all strokes, whether you pull through, have a batik, or you could even have a double on this side. This is what they call floretti. Okay? The interchangeable, because whether you pick up the weapon, you still have a downward figure 8. This is the kris. I'm going to go slow so that you can see the motion. This is the downward figure 8 with the kris. You have the upward figure 8 with the kris. Okay? You have the high horizontal. You have the middle horizontal. If you're down on your knee, you have the low horizontal. Okay? You can go from slash to thrust. Slash to thrust. Slash to thrust. Slash to thrust. So basically this weapon either slashes or thrusts. It can chop or it can pull through all the way through. Okay? There are 5 angles of attack, and I'm just going to review them again. The angle 1, normally in the system we practice, is diagonal. The angle 2 is diagonal. Angle 3 is horizontal. Angle 4 is horizontal, and the angle 5 is a middle thrust that goes into usually the solar plex or in the growing area. There are more than 5 angles of attack, but for the purpose of this tape, I would like to just show 5 again. So that's the angle 1, the angle 2, the angle 3, the angle 4, and the angle 5. Okay. Basically, there are 3 ranges in stick fighting. The first one is long range, commonly called largo mano. This is shown by, notice that the stick, you're out of the range of his stick, but you can hit his hand. Okay, repeat one more time. That's the strike over here. I'm out of the range of his stick, but I can hit his hand. Okay? He strikes at that angle 2. Notice I'm out of range of his stick, but I can hit his hand. He strikes at angle 3. I'm out of range of the stick, and I can strike his hand. This is long range distance we're working at. Okay? And number 5 angle, hitting. Again, repeat it again. That's angle 1, which you strike the hand. Angle 2, you strike the hand. Angle 3, you're out of range of the weapon, but you can strike the arms or the limbs. Number 4 and number 5. The second range is called middle range. This range is depicted is that because you can monitor and trap the hand. Notice out here, I'm not in middle range because he can hit my hand. But middle range means that you can monitor his hand. If he were to strike at angle 2, I can hit the hand. Okay? If he were to strike at angle 3, I can touch the hand. This is basically what we refer to as middle range. Angle 4, notice that I can hit his hand. That is basically middle range target. Okay? All right. Angle 5, again, going back here. This is middle range. Okay. Notice the difference between middle range and close quarter. Middle range, I can touch his hand, and I can touch, but I cannot reach with the puño. Okay? Close quarter means that I can apply the puño strike here, or if he strikes at angle 1 again, I can strike at angle 2 here, or if he strikes at angle 2, notice that I can use the puño. That is close quarter. In close quarter, also, many different things such as choking can be applied now at this point. Okay? All right, so these are basic, again, the 3 different ranges. First, long range, you can hit his hand. At angle 2, we're out of range of the weapon, and we hit the limb of the body. Okay, again, we hit the limb. Number 4, we hit the limb. And number 5, hitting the limb. Okay, at middle range again, the second range is we can monitor the hand. This is usually where disarms can occur. Okay, but the main point of the middle range is that we can monitor the hand or we can touch the hand. At angle 2, again, the main thing is that we can touch the hand. At close quarter is that the puño can reach. And this is close quarter fighting. This is, of course, where all the chokes and the strangles and the foot sweeps and the throws will occur. So again, there are 3 ranges: long range, middle range, and close quarter. The same principle in long range, if you're fighting with the sword, you wouldn't try to block it. Your principle in long range is to hit the hand. If you were to strike at angle 2 again, you would hit the hand. If it's strike at angle 2 again, hitting the limb and clearing the weapon. Okay? If you strike at angle 4, you would hit. And at angle 5 again, you would sidestep this way or sidestep on the outside, evading it, and still staying out of the range of the weapon. This is the long range. In middle range, again, it's a little bit harder, a little bit more dangerous, but you should touch the hand over here so that disarms can occur and slashing motions can occur for the technique. Same thing with angle 2. The same principle is being used whether you have a stick or no matter what the shape of the weapon is. Okay? And close quarter is the same thing. This is when the butt of the weapon can be used. So those are the 3 ranges, whether you have the sword or whether you have the stick. Then, again, if I were to have Jeff pick up a stick for a minute, you'll notice, and if he would hand me a stick, his same principle of blocking my hand would hit the hand. That is the first thing we do, even if we're middle range. The hand is being checked, and the hand would be hit. Okay? Notice that no matter what angle, the angle for angle 1 is still the same. Notice he would hit my hand on the first motion and hit my supporting hand with the second motion. Okay? So that I wouldn't have a chance, as soon as that comes, it comes out like that. So no matter even if I strike here, he smashes my hand, he smashes my hand. So you can smash the hand both at middle range and at close quarter. Okay, right now I'd like to go through some of the basic methods that you might use at middle range stick fighting. Okay? The first is what they refer to as the roof block. Notice that we are in middle range for this particular block and the hand will check. What you follow up here is according to your own preference or your own choice or what you decide to do at that particular time. I'll do the roof block again. This is the roof block. Notice that I could not apply the roof block here because I cannot monitor his hand. I can't reach it. Therefore, at this range, I'm better off staying at long range. But once I come to this range and I can monitor that hand, I will hit. The bad point, if you don't have the checking hand here and I try to hit, this will hit me. So this hand has to be monitored. This is the roof block. A block that looks very similar to is called the high wing. Notice that the stick is pointed down. As in the roof block, the stick is pointed out. In the high wing again, the stick is pointed down and it's hit. We actually would try to hit the hand if we're that close, like going like this. But for training, we go on the stick. That would be the trap. What I follow up will be according to my preference. Again, this is the roof block, and I strike. This is the high wing, and I strike. And then another block, the third block, is called the umbrella. Okay? It looks like the roof block. I'll do it 3 times. Okay? Strike. Actually, in reality, I would hit Jeff's hand here, and I strike. Again, repeat again. This is the roof block for the number 1 angle. This is the high wing for the number 1 angle. And this is the umbrella. Those are the 3 major blocks or deflections. We come to the 4th block, which is called the inside deflection. The inside deflection, we can slash up. I'll repeat it again slow. Notice that I monitor the hand, I slash up, and I strike the head. Or I can slash horizontal and strike the head 2 or 3 times. Or I can slash down. Or I can slash and go into this sector here. Or I can backhand the strike going right here immediately. It's a very quick move. Most people can't see it. So when we train a lot of times, we just hit the stick, indicating that we have hit the hand. What we follow up with is according to our own preference, whether I follow up with a downward figure 8, whether I follow up with an upward figure 8, whether I follow up with the horizontal abanico watik, or whether I follow up with the diagonal watik, which is going diagonal. Okay? Or I can follow up with the watik going on this side. Or if I follow up with 2 or 3 hits on the bottom line and going into disarm. These are still the basics. But the root motion has to come from the 4. The roof block, the high wing, the umbrella, and the inside deflection. Okay? At angle 2, we have several. We have the outside deflection. Notice that we're in range, and the hand, this hand here now, would be wrong to use it, because I cannot reach his hand. Over here, I can monitor the motion and still hit, and go to various different strikes. Okay? This is the umbrella. Notice that in reality, I really go in and strike here. But for training, I stay out here, so the danger to my partner is minimized. Okay? This is the shield. Some systems, we point it down. Sometimes they point it horizontal. Others, it's either vertical, diagonal, or horizontal. This is the shield block for angle 2. Of course, all this now, we're working now in middle range. Okay, repeat it again. You have an outside deflection, back. You have a shield, which is this motion. Notice that the shield is better used with the trapping hand. This wouldn't be used by itself because you need this hand to move it. So the shield would be used here. Okay. Also, you have the umbrella, which is here. Okay. You can use a high wing, but it has to be drifted down to this other side. So those are the 4 basics that primarily I would use for the angle 2. Angle 3 is a strike that hits the rib cage. If the elbow's in there, we hit the ulnar nerve, which is your crazy bone. And if the arm is not there, it is on the rib cage. If I turn here, it will hit the base of my spine, hitting it someplace on the spinal column. Over here will hit the top of the solar plex. Any place I turn, that is still angle 3. To defend against it, I can go back to long range. Okay? I can follow it on the opposite side, or I can play the middle range. Okay? I can shield it, which is a block like this. All right? So there's and I can also inside deflect it like this. So there's different variations that you can use. For angle 4, there is a drop stick deflection. Okay? The drop stick deflection can be monitored on the outside. There is also a wing. The wing is letting it flow out to the other side. Okay? Repeat that again. You let it flow out to the opposite side, and you strike it. That's the wing. Okay? However, sometimes you can stop it right here and move it and continue. Okay? All right? In rare occasions, you can shield it. That would be the shield. And you can follow it in many different variations. Okay? Number 4 angle also, if you can flow like this, it looks the same, but it's not. That's the gunting. Because we let this one here, we stop it first and then pass it. That's the wing block. As in the gunting or the scissors, we let it flow. This, in essence, is a hit here and letting it pass and then hitting it. Okay? Number 5 angle, these are very common angles. This is the abanico. In reality, I would already hit the wrist 2 or 3 times before I go up. Or I can low wing it on this side, hitting it like this. Or I can outside deflect it on this side. Right? Or I can scoop it. These are the basics that you use and you need to defend against the 5 basic angles of attack. Now I'd like to go into disarming. Okay? Disarming, there's a disarm for every angle attack. And in some systems, there are 12 angles of attack. Others, there's 15. And in some systems, they have as many as 36 angles of attack. Okay? I'll start off very slowly. When you're in range and you can touch the first one is what we call the snake. Okay? In slow motion again. Okay? Take it out again. All right? This is a hit on the hand. You can hit the other hand or hit the other leg. This will keep on firing as to have tranquilizing shots before. Okay? And repeat it again. This is the snake disarm. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Out. Strike. Many variations of the snake. But for the general purpose, you go counterclockwise and go here. And this one is hit on the head. But for training, go past the head and miss. Okay? Again, the snake disarm. Up here and down. Okay? Then we have the vine disarm. The vine disarm is here in slow motion. It strikes one to the rib cage or to the leg, and then you go to the ulnar radius and then thrust. And then you use this as a lever and you twist it out. This is the vine disarm. Repeat again. Okay, the vine disarm, again, come out, and you came in and you can fire. Okay? Again, on the vine disarm, you strike, you put it here. This is your lever. You twist out, and you strike. Okay? All right. There are many disarms, but for general practical purposes, I will teach 4 per angle. This is a strip. Okay? This one is not very glamorous or fancy, but it's very effective. You pull out. It works because you notice how the hand is being twisted here, and this pushes down on it. Okay? Repeat again. Back and strip. We can then strip at another angle. Notice where the puño is hitting, and then the strip is taken out. I'll repeat that again. Okay? Slow motion, hit, and strip. Okay? Third time, hit, and strip. Okay? At all times, the most important thing here, you don't want to get too interested in the disarming because they might fire this punch. And if you might have the disarm, but you will get hit. So at all times, when you do a disarm, this hand has to be monitored at all times. Okay? Be aware that it's coming. For angle 2, again, you have the vine. This is the vine disarm in slow motion. I'll repeat it again. The vine disarm, down, thrust maybe, pick it up here, and continue. Third time, the vine disarm, hit, pull it out, and come out and strike. Okay? Then you have the snake. Again, 1, 2, 3. Notice that there's bombardment of different blows on every disarm. Because you never disarm without shooting any guns or firing the guns of the natural weapon or of the different strikes. Okay? That is the snake. One more time for the snake. Okay. Then you have stripping. Stripping will involve the weapon, okay, in slow motion again, right? Your hand position is striked, the hand is pulled, and ejects into the foot. Okay? For purposes of safety here, I will not eject it in the foot, I'll just eject it into the ground. Okay? One more time over here so you can see the angle of the strip again. All right? You can strip it in any direction. Notice that I can strip it back. Okay, in slow motion again. When the strike comes, you hit. Notice that you pull with this hand here and pull it back. Okay? We then try one more time here so that you can see the angle, hitting, holding it here, and stripping it back. Okay? Then we refer to as the angle 3. The angle 3 is here. This is a very simple strip where you go down. Now you can do it with the stick itself, hitting it like this, or you can do it with the puño of the stick and then coming down. For training, we use our forearm so that nobody will be hurt. We can also, at this angle, snake. Okay, slow motion again. Snaking. This is at the number 3 angle, at the rate, dropping and hitting. Notice that I would hit the head in reality. See, the head is being hit here and then stripping it like this. Okay? Then, of course, you have the strip that goes into the body again. One more, slow motion. I'll have him grab it so they won't fly into his body. Okay? This is the other strip. Okay? The number 4 angle, you would treat the same way. That is a snake. Okay, in slow motion again. Over here. Notice that if my stick is and my hand is in front of the stick, the blow will come underneath. Repeat it again. The stick will come underneath. However, if my stick is behind, the blow will now come on top of the head. I'll repeat it again. From here, down. Once more, in, and then down. The number 4 again, the blocking, the trapping over here, the hitting, and striking. Okay. Again, for the number 4, whether we drop, stick, deflection, and go in the snake, or whether we use the low wing and go in the snake. And I'll repeat that again. The drop stick and go into the snake, and the low wing and go in the snake, and then by stripping it out. Okay. You also have the straight drop, which is here, goes straight down. Okay. Usually that is delivered into the body of the opponent, but for training purposes, I will strip it to the ground directly in front of my opponent. Okay. Just like this. Okay. We also, very similar to that, is hitting like this, but you pull. This one is pulled back, and the stick will fly in the opposite direction. Okay. Again, you hit, strike, pull back, and you could keep the stick or let it fly. Again, strike and pull back, and keep the stick or let it fly. These are the number 4. The number 5 position usually is not disarmed because we just hit the hand, causing the stick to fall down, and then going to the body, and then following up. However, when you're in close quarter, you can be used in the same way that we use the number 5. Okay? These are the various different ways that you can strike and disarm the number 5. So again, in total, that was the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and number 4, and number 5 angles of disarming. Okay, I'm going to show you 3 basic Siniwali drills. Siniwali is double stick fighting. It could be double swords or double axe or 2 equal length weapons. Okay. At this point, these are drills. They are not the fighting combination. You strike inward, you go low backhand, high backhand. You go inward, low backhand, high backhand. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. Notice when I go inward, low backhand, high backhand, this is chambered over here. You go inward, low backhand, high backhand. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. This is what we refer to as a bicidario 6 count, because there are 6 counts to the exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In reality, he hits my hand. 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 He'll hit my hand. Okay, going into the next exercise, we refer to this as Heaven 6. Heaven 6 is the right hand is chambered below. I'll do it in front of the camera very slow. You make an inward strike, and automatically after you hit the inward strike, you cock it back or chamber it back. You make a left backhand, and then you pull it back and you make a right backhand. And then you make an inward and you chamber it underneath your armpit, put it immediately to the opposite shoulder, make a right backhand, and then make a left backhand. I'm going to do it one more time very slowly. Inward. Notice when I'm going to make an inward that I chamber the stick underneath my armpit, and then immediately cock it back into my opposite shoulder. Make a left backhand, and then make a right backhand. Inward. Notice that it's chambered underneath the armpit. I chamber it to the opposite shoulder. You make a right backhand, left backhand. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or inward, high backhand, high backhand. 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 Notice that I'm doing it stationary. Later on, you're going to do it with various different types of footwork. Let's say that Jeff is a tree, and if you have no partner, use a tree like this. You'll start off slow. Inward, high backhand, high backhand. Inward, high backhand, high backhand. Until you get the flow like this. Slowly, 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 gradually picking up the speed until you can monitor the motion or the speed of the motion in any way. Then you start to use footwork with this, okay? Now when you do it with a partner, you have a smart, we'll go slow. Inward, high backhand, high backhand. 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 In reality, he hits my hand. 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 This is known as the Heaven 6. Now we have the next combination, or the third beginning combination. We call it standard 6, or heaven and earth 6. It is just like the heaven 6 that you make an inward, and you chamber this underneath. You cock it to the opposite shoulder. You go low backhand, then go high backhand. Then you make an inward. You chamber it back to the opposite shoulder. You go low backhand, then high backhand. Inward. You chamber it back to the opposite shoulder. You go low backhand, high backhand. Inward. Chamber it to the opposite shoulder. Low backhand, high backhand. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Inward. Low backhand, high backhand. Inward. Low backhand, high backhand. Inward. Low backhand, high backhand. Again, if you have nobody to work out with, you usually get a tree about this way. And you'll strike the tree. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, when you do it for the partner, we'll go very slow first. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actual combat, we try to hit the hand here. We try to hit the hand here. We try to hit the hand here. We hit the hand here. We hit the hand here. And we hit the hand here. These are the first 3 basic exercises I like to train my classes in. Again, repeat. The first one is Abecedario 6 count for the review. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have the heaven 6. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have the standard 6, or the heaven and earth 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 3 basic beginning Siniwali drills. Okay, now after you've accomplished learning the Abecedario 6, which is an inward, a low backhand, and a high backhand, inward, low back, and high backhand. Now we're going to work a little bit on the footwork. If you look down below, there's a triangle. So you're going to move out to the left, you move out to the right, move out to the left, move off to the right. This is what they refer to as the female triangle. Okay. Now we're going to start off slow. We're going to do 3 motions. My opponent's going to step off to the left for training inward, low backhand, high backhand. Move out to the side, inward, low backhand, high backhand. This is the drill. Teaching you how to get an angle of attack in on your partner by shifting the body weight, using the footwork. Now, you can accomplish this by doing the same thing, doing heaven 6, using 6 strikes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Using that same pattern, but now putting in the footwork with it. Okay. Also, you can use that same pattern using the standard 6, which is inward, low backhand, high backhand. Okay, inward, low backhand, high backhand. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. This is just one of the basic footworks, but it's good to practice with. Okay, now that we have 7-6, we're just going to take heaven 6 again. Inward, high backhand, inward, 2 high backhand. See? Now we can advance with it and retreat with this motion. You can go back 15 yards, you can go back 3 yards or 2 yards, it doesn't matter. Then you should learn how to circle, going clockwise or counterclockwise with it. And learn to circle going the opposite direction. Okay? We're slowing it down just a little bit here just to give you the basic idea. Now notice that she'll drop on one knee. You have to learn how to fight off the kneeling position. In the case that you went down to the floor, you would have to learn how to use that same combination with a person fighting on the floor. Then learning how to get up, sitting position, the kneeling position, and up to the standing position again. Okay? Learning how to go against one or two opponents or three opponents from different angles of attack. Okay. Thank you. Okay, notice that on the Siniwali pattern, on this very simple drill, there's an inward, there's a backhand, there's a backhand, there's an inward, there's a backhand, and a backhand. So that you're learning motion. You're learning what an inward motion is, a backhand motion is, and a backhand motion, an inward, a backhand, a backhand. So no matter what weapon you hold, regardless of the shape, the principle will still hold true. For an example, if I were to pick up two swords, they could be of any shape, and she picks up two swords, the same principle can be used, okay? That's an inward, that's a backhand, that's a backhand. Inward, backhand, backhand, inward, backhand, backhand. The same principle will be used, irregardless of the weapon you hold. The shape doesn't make any difference because the combat motion is the same. Okay, once you understand that principle, she can pick up her two sticks again. I can pick up any type of an instrument. Let's say a shield. This happens to be from the northern tribes of the Philippines, okay, but it could be a southern shield. It could be from the central part. The basic motion is still inward, backhand, backhand, inward, backhand, backhand, inward, backhand, backhand, inward, backhand, backhand. The same principle is being used with the shield. Sometimes, if you were to pick up a sword, and I were to pick up a sword, okay, the same principle can be used, okay? All right? The principle is still being used irregardless of any combination of weapons that we would choose to use in combat. If she were to pick up two double swords, the principle would still be the same. Only thing now, the sword will strike the shield, okay? The principle is still being used. So you see, it doesn't matter what weapon you hold in your hand. It could be any variations of very different types of weapons you would use, okay? Okay, what we're concerned here is motion. Notice that the stick goes inward, backhand, backhand, inward, backhand, backhand. So if he were to put his left fist up here, that would be an inward, that would be the backhand, and that would be backhand. If he would put his right hand up there, it would be inward, backhand, backhand. If he threw a left first, and then the backhand would be here, the backhand would here. So the application of movements are universal. So if I were to pick up a weapon, whether both points were down, and he threw the left, that would be an inward, that would be the backhand, and that would be the backhand. If I did a standard three, it would be an inward, backhand, backhand. If I did an inward here, and he threw another punch, that would be the inward again, would go backhand, backhand. Now, when you don't have a weapon, the motion of this in slow motion, that's inward, backhand, backhand. But if I throw an inward and he threw the punch, that would be the backhand, and that would be the backhand. So in application, 1, 2, 3, or if he punch, 1, 2, 3, the motion is still any position can be used. That's your inward, that's your backhand, that's your backhand. All right, so these are the motions you would use with the stick fighting. Stick fighting motions in Siniwali is to educate the line of the inward and the inward in application. Or it could be the inward backhand. Or, again, it could be the backhand inward. Or it could move out in its first motion here, and you catch it again to make the inward backhand backhand. So this is the movements of Siniwali, to educate motion, whether you're empty hand or whether you're with the weapon. Many people mistake the Filipino martial arts as being strictly a weapon art. Usually it's mistaken as a stick art or a sword art or a dagger art. But the Filipino martial arts of Kali and Eskrima both have and employ empty hand skill. Sometimes the motion is taken from double stick, sometimes it's taken from single stick, and sometimes it's taken from the dagger. For instance, if I hold a dagger like this and a man were to punch, you would take it back here and you'd enter it over here. That same motion of slashing here and going here, when application in slow motion, that's the elbow technique. You can be the knee again. Okay, I'm going to slow this down. Notice there's a cut here. Eye poke here, the trap over here, the thrust, the elbow, the hook, and the elbow again, if you use it. Now, if you don't have the weapon, then it is used like this. See, in slow motion, elbow, knee, and elbow or knee again. Okay. Now, a lot of times the knife is employed this way, and sometimes it could be in a left stance. See, notice where the hit would be automatically, or the hit would be like this automatically. So if that would come in again, it would strike again. Okay. Or the hit could be here, and the shot could be here and be employed here. The same principle is being used if the left hand is hit. Notice where we're hitting. The hit over here is on the brachial nerve or on the ulnar nerve, okay? Paralyzing the arm. If they hit again, automatically the hit would come, the strike would be here. Following up with the same technique. It could go into any technique. There are many variations. Slow motion again. That would be 1. It could be this way. 2, hit, 3, elbow, and hit again. Or it could be this way. Hit, up this way, hit, over. Notice that all the motions are following from the motion of the dagger. I'm going to break it down into the basic system. The basic system I'm showing you right now is from a man who was taught to me by the name of Johnny LaCosta, or Master Johnny LaCosta. He taught me first, the first motion we use is what we refer to as the gunting. So if the lead hand is thrown, we hit and we go in. The first technique, the gunting, and go straight in. Okay? From here, any type of throw, punch can be delivered, or elbow can be delivered. Notice there's a lot of elbow in collie and a lot of knee because of the vicinity of the opponent. Also, we can go out. Notice that the first one, I went gunting and went thrusting. This one, I move out. I'll notice that it always, in conjunction, it always squares the hand here and checks it automatically as the hit will come here, automatically elbow and elbow again. Okay? So the basic premise on this is the gunting that stays in and the gunting that comes out. Okay? When the gunting comes out, this finger jab is here. It also will monitor the rear hand again and strike again, elbow. Notice that all the close quarter hits are being employed at the same time. This is the basics of the gunting. Okay. Then we have what is called the horizontal gunting. Notice that it's already into the eyeball, but for training purpose, we put it here. It already monitors that motion of the other shot where you can strike over here and the elbow be here automatically. He's in the position here where I can come down with my finishing touch of the elbow. Okay? And slow motion again. The vertical gunting. The strike. Notice how it monitors the rear hand automatically in the close vicinity. You can strike in any motion. Okay? When you learn the technique on the left stance, it must be learned on the right stance to come out. Okay, I'm going to give you little basics here that you can maybe practice at home. The vertical gunting, depending on the range of the distance. Okay? If you're in tight, where they like to be, notice where the finger jab would be. This is what we refer to the vertical gunting, followed by the sungab. The sungab is done with the right hand. The vertical gunting, the sungab is done with the left hand. Repeat it again. See, notice over here, the finger jab is here with the right hand. This time, it's with the left hand. Okay? Repeat one more time. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay? Now, notice that with the next weapon, we choose to employ the elbow. The elbow is delivered here. Okay? It is going up into the brachial nerve. Automatically, this can be the throw. You can take it all the way down to locking position if you so desire. See? Notice where the hand is? It's all in line here. Okay? So the position over here, any throw can be used, but right now I'm showing you where the tools are being hit. Notice how we program, because the other fist has to either come on that side, and when it comes on that side, the shot is already delivered here. He's already trapped. See, I won't go into takedown, but just show you the root motion where the shots are coming from. See? That the punch has to come through that sector, which is hit and hit. Okay? Again, when we strike again going upward here, notice where the hand, the elbow can hit to the bicep, it can hit to the deltoid, it can hit to the sternum, it can hit to the throat, it can hit to the mandible. All these are in relationship. Notice how I swing away, and I'm zoned away from that rear punch, and in the event it would come up, okay, and in. All here, all the trapping are employed here by takedowns from this angle also, okay. I can repeat it again. So for review now, we have the right finger jab, we have the left finger jab, you have the right siku, or the right elbow, okay. Notice how I'm covered in case that punch were to come, see. Automatically, zoned over here into the position where I can elbow with this hand and come down with another elbow. Okay? So if you have repeat again, the left elbow or the right elbow coming to the jaw or to the throat or to the sternum or to the deltoid or to the bicep, okay, it automatically puts me into any position I so desire. Okay? Again. Now let's take a look when the knee is employed. Slow motion again. See, the knee is employed here, either down or either up. Notice that sometimes I do it with my right knee. At other times, I will do it with my left knee. Okay? At rare occasions, when I'm at this range, I can kick the bicep on the first motion if it's so desired. The only thing you have to watch on this is if he's a sharp collie man, he will lower that elbow down into your leg. So we prefer to kick down low. We're either with the seepaw on the outside, which is this way, either with the seepaw on the outside, which is this way. Okay? Still zoning away from that other hand that comes in. Okay? Basically, in collie, if you learn it on the right side, everything has to be produced on the left side. Okay? So vertical gunting, left backhand. Again, vertical gunting, right backhand. If I use my right backhand, notice how I zone away from the right punch here, so it automatically comes to me. This is a very important part of collie. That you have to zone away immediately and already program yourself or compute the other side into hitting. Okay, now let's take a boxer, for instance. Okay? They will throw here so that you'll have to meet this gun, and then you'll have to meet this gun. Common thing they do in Western boxing, if they throw a front jab or a cross, is to catch, shoulder roll. Notice I make one defensive motion and another defensive motion. Okay. In the Panantukan portion of collie, when you catch the first one, the hand is hit here. Okay, in slow motion. I can do it 3 times. 1, okay. 2, okay. 3. Okay. What follows from here depends upon the range of the opponent. An example: if I jab and he comes in, if I'm in tight, notice where my gun is checking his hand here, and the elbow is being used. Okay, slow motion again. 1. Notice the check hand is over here, checking his progress of his other guard. 2, the elbow's here, backhand is here, the elbow's here, the knee is here, and down he will go from this position. Okay. Other times, when you hit over here, rather than hit the bicep, this hand makes a quick parry and goes into the eye. Okay. It can be done with the fingers to the throat, or to the eyeball, or the fist to the nose, or the backhand portion to the face, and at the same time checking the rear guard. And then, depending on what range is available, the knee and elbow will start to do its work. Okay? Repeat it again, okay? Depending on the range now, I might jump from that hand position. Now I'm in another position. These are all the different variations, the possibility. You don't know what you're going to fire, because maybe from this range, when we did this, I'm at kicking range. Automatically moving into different techniques that are employed in collie. Okay? In slow motion again. See? This is kicking range. Okay? Elbow, knee, elbow, and strike with the elbow again. Okay? Again, many times the fist comes out to that portion. You see how he hit? Now this comes basically from the knife position. Because many times the training was taught when the fist comes, see how it cuts up? He would catch the fist this way, or if he hits again, he would catch it going this way. Or if he goes like this, you would hit it, then cut it here. However, if you were quick enough, you could catch it in the chamber position. So whatever it is here, the same principle is being used. The little finger is being smashed, the finger is being smashed, but once it stops here, it never stops to flow, see? I don't even know where my arms and elbow will flow. It will depend upon the opponent. And that's the way collie is taught. That once you come in here, up here, the elbow is being moved, see? This is the vertical gunting, see? Notice the different variation. I myself, when the punch comes, I don't know what's going to be taken over here, okay? Slow motion again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is when I caught and I did an inward gunting. Notice where this left hand picks up again, because it's automatically programmed into the body here to strike, okay? Again, from here, you catch, go to the inward gunting. Repeat again. Catch the inward gunting, okay? Catch the vertical gunting. Okay? Catch the vertical gunting. Okay, catch the vertical gunting. Catch and thrust. Slow motion again. Catch, thrust. At that point, you have to know which way you're going to come, whether you want to sweep them or, excuse me, okay, over here again, coming this way and sweeping them this way, see? It doesn't matter which way you're going to use. The hand position, the lock-up position you choose to use is depending upon you. So you can go into locking position, throwing position, choking position, depending on where you see the opportunity to employ the different variations. But the destruction of the limb is very important, or at least damage it, or partially damage it, or inconveniently take it out of position so it cannot be used again for another 30 seconds or possibly 1 minute. Okay? That's the reason why we hit the limbs first. If a man was in a stance, we'll say right stance, like this, see? Sometimes they don't even wait for the portion, see? The hand is here, they just hit this fingers over here just to get the reaction here. And sometimes from here they go in, see? Automatically, if the hand is here, they will try to hit the limb here to destroy it. So any portion here, here, and here is being kicked or punched at the knee level to prevent him from moving in and out of your opponent. Okay? Because once you're in this range, you can employ various different types of tools. Okay? So the important part again is that like in stick fighting, we destroy the limbs of the body. Because you take the world's best fighter, no matter who it is, the greatest boxer in the world, if you chop both his arms, he can't harm you because it's the arms that hurt you, not the body. If you take away the arms, you take away the legs, it's just a stump on the ground trying to get you. So that is very important. That's why a lot of times when they punch, notice that two things have happened. You take this one out, and when you take this one out, you take this one out. He's eliminated this limb and this limb. We zone away from this limb because he has to turn 180, and my hand, I have all the time in the world to catch that elbow here to destroy this limb. Automatically, notice that this limb is destroyed. So, in slow motion again, the first destruction is here, the second destruction is here, the third destruction is on that limb here. The fourth is the computer center itself, which is the brain or the throat, the elbow. This is the windpipe where you're hitting. So that all these points are being eliminated as best as possible. Okay? Even in this position here, the first hit could be here, but the second one will be here to eliminate this limb. Okay? Because out here you can play kick, kick, kick like tournament. But the object is to get in and get out. Because out in the street you don't have a referee to break you up. Okay, so you want to eliminate the limbs so they can't fire the limbs. Either partially or completely elimination of that limb. And that is done through the guntings of this through the guntings in combat.